a sinner, left my lover crying on the dance floor. I'm a sinner, I'm a
sinner. What we need to do now is a testimony from Michio herself. With a bit of luck, we may be able to ask her what happened during the crash ourselves. Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that particular development. I still have my doubts that it'll be so easy. Either way, we won't be able to do this unless Mio and Yako turn up. I'd rather have them come sooner rather than later, but I guess we just have to wait until we head inside. Alright. I guess we still can't rule out the possibility that Michio did commit suicide. She was so young, and all the adults in her life did push her around. Mockingbird number 15. Alright, let's go wait inside the school. I'm sure they'll be here any moment. Okay. Simon. The rite of resurrection is the inception of this whole affair. Yako and Mio decide to confront the man responsible for spreading the rumors of it in the first place, Hideki Arashi. They find him at his frequent stomping grounds, the Korikiko Cafe. Hey guys, so if this part seems completely different, it is because I had to use a different recording software because Camtasia is destabilized currently. You know, normally you'd be breaking school rules by stepping foot in a cafe. I'll be in hot water if you're What did you want to... The cafe, I've never been to one before. How exciting. It's pretty smelly inside because of the cigarette smoke, but... Yako, if you would. Right, we wanted to ask you about this. Oh my, it's a curse stone. And a Kame mask. That must mean the Fool's Procession. You two were at the school last night? Damn, there of all places. Yako, you're one of them? You're a curse bearer? Please calm down, Mr. Arashi. Your reaction is too intense. It's kind of scaring me. Sorry about that. I'm afraid I got ahead of myself. What is it you wanted to know about your curse stone? What would be the best way to approach this? It's just a brilliant teacher like you must know an awful lot about... That thing is very... That should... Oh, no, whoops. It's just a brilliant teacher like you must know an awful lot about these curse stones. Well... Please? Oh, am I now? In that case, there's no problem hearing what you have to ask. You are so easy, man. Thank you. Let's see. Why is everything with the rite of resurrection and 7 mysterious curse stones happening now? Oh, taken an interest now that you've received one of the curses, have you? You sound like a researcher, starting your questions with your subject's origins. Mr. Arashi, you're not the one who triggered the curse, are you? No, I'm afraid I had nothing to do with that. Rather, I wasn't even attempting to do so in the first place. Completing the rite of resurrection has nothing to do with my research. Then do you know the ancient Honjo ritual known as the Feast of Shadows? What is that? Something from the occult? Miss Kurisuzu, you look like the type to be interested in those things, but it's outside my field of expertise. Bullshit. In that case, why do you think the rite and curses have appeared now? I believe this is an intentional work of someone. It's certainly not something that would happen by accident. Why is it you want to know? Well, he may not tell us anything else if we say that we're trying to stop the curse. We need to make something up. Right. Well, you see, we just have such intellectual curiosity, and I think it'd be really cool to help your research. I see, now that you mention it. Seems like he's reluctant to answer. Then how about... Oh, we figured you would know since you're so smart. How disappointing. How dare you? You make it sound like I'm stupid. You couldn't be more wrong. Do you realize how devoted I am to this research? Allow me to first elucidate you. We're sorry, it's hard to say it under this voice. Elucidate you regarding the author of the Record of Fates. A special privilege, I might add, since I have yet to publish this on paper. Yeah, okay. The Record of Fates was written 200 years ago in a later half of the Edo period. It was written by a skilled but little-known Honjo called Simon Tsuchimikato. This is an important stuff. If nothing else, remember this. Simon Tsukikamoto? I've never heard of him. I'm sure you haven't. He was born into a famed Honjo family, but split away to practice forbidden arts in secret. He used whatever name was most convenient for the situation, so his real name barely exists in records. Or so it is written in the Record of Fate. Huh. As brilliant as Simon was, he was also an eccentric. He delved into research, the Rite of Resurrection, a legendary forbidden ritual that had never been completed. However, by involving himself with this forbidden ritual, he was expelled from his family and eventually found himself in Honjo in Edo. The Record of Fates are the writing Simon recorded on the road to Edo. I see. So he wrote how to perform the rite itself? The Rite of Resurrection makes use of the Abe no Sayame's specialty, the Taizen
cocoon ritual, a means of communicating with the afterlife. It uses soul dregs to replicate the soul of the dead spirit that has been called.
Oh wow, I never knew something like that existed.
Thus, it is thought that only ones who can use it are those with the ability to turn human souls into soul dregs in the first place. So the rite of resurrection calls for the ritual to be performed in advance. Then, when the soul dregs are gathered and infused with the wishes of whoever is performing the ritual, it can be completed. The contents written in the Record of Fates end there.
There's no more? What about the 7 mysteries or the curse stones?
There's nothing written about them in the Records of Fate. The curse stones are separate from the rite of resurrection. Their curse is one used to enable one who is unable to perform such rituals to be able to use the rite.
Huh. That's similar to what Miu said, actually. How are the 7 mysteries related to the rite? Excuse me, Mr. Arashi?
What is it, Miss Kirisuzu?
You published a theory before the incident took place. It said that the rite of resurrection, the origin of the 7 mysteries of Honjo, are related somehow. What proof did you have for that?
You really know your stuff about that. It was somewhat sensationalized piece written for the occult magazines.
Oh, really? It was just nonsense then?
Not exactly, rather. It's not complete fabrications. There is basis for it.
And that is?
Well, I suppose there's no harm telling a couple of students so passionate about this topic.
Thank you.
This is something I discovered from the reference numerous texts unrelated to the Records of Fate. It was just after Simon arrived in Honjo. There are records of a conflict over a ritual used to resurrect the dead in Honjo.
A conflict over resurrecting the dead?
Conflict that ended tragically with 9 dead.
Oh, that makes sense.
That is the only remaining reference.
9 people fighting over the resurrection ritual.
I call this tragedy the Honjo incident, and it is
Saying is the resurrection ritual at the root of the Honjo incident.
Simon brought the rite of resurrection to Eventually, it was passed down in an incomplete PDF.
So that's how they're connected. How were the 7 mysteries related to the rite?
And there's more. With this most recent occurrence of the curse, I become even more confident in my theory.
You are?
Yes, the reason for it being the resentful memories of the 7 mysteries etched into those who received the curse stones.
Resentful memories?
Yako, if you really are a curse bearer, then when you obtained your curse stone, you would have had a resentful memory imprinted in your mind.
Oh, I did.
Exactly, those memories are what happened in the final moments of the 9 who died in the Honjo incident. Broadly speaking, they involve involve dying while bearing some kind of deep resentment. The 9 victims become the 9 curse echoes, which over time become to be spoken of as the 7 mysteries, thus gathering the resentful memories granted before the present curses and connecting them together. It will reveal once and for all what happened during the Honjo incident.
Huh.
That's why you must tell me about the resentful memory or fool's possession, Yako.
Mio, should I? Yeah, I think it's okay. We need all the information we can get. So basically, it's all about a woman who died falling from a Yagora tower at a festival.
Interesting. It's not that one then.
Not that one? What do you mean?
Among the 9 victims of the Honjo incident, that is said to say the 9 curse echoes. One of them is Simon himself, or so I suspect.
Huh? Simon was one of the victims of the Honjo incident too? Meaning the Amyoji, so powerful as he also became a curse echo?
Right. It would make sense that the curse stone tied to a curse echo like that would be special.
The power of a curse stone is different based on the curse echo? Mio, then maybe with Simon's curse echo we could... Yes, we may be able to settle this whole situation.
What are you two whispering about?
Oh, nothing, sorry. Mr. Arashi, how many of these resentful memories have you gathered so far?
I have learned a number of them. The Evergreen Beach, the Foot-Washing Mansion, the Ever-Burning Lantern, and now the Fool's Procession makes 4. Of those, the most important are the Foot-Washing Mansion and the Her legs, which she had always taken pride in, were stricken with corruption after she was defeated by Simon. Her curse echo is notable for being particularly easy to fill the requirements necessary to use the curse. That detective did well to escape this one.
So a female Myoji and rival of Simon was involved in the Honjo incident. That certainly is interesting.
Next, the Evergreen Beach. This curse echo is from a craftsman of Netsuki carvings named Jinkichi, who was hanged for spreading baseless rumors. He apparently spoke of something that granted the ability to bring back the dead.
The right of resurrection.
Precisely. This man, Jinkichi, must have been in contact with Simon. If I could just collect all of those memories, everything will be revealed and the truth of the 7 mysteries will be mine. That is the knowledge I desire.
Meaning you need to gather as much information as you can from the curse bearers.
Precisely. I have an agreement to exchange information with those detectives. But they might not even find the other curse bearers, so I must take measure of my own.
What's the trigger? Another thing.
Yes?
You never really finished about what the trigger for all this was.
Well, I don't know.
Really? He knows. You're hiding something from us, are you? You're not hiding something from us, are you? It has something to do with how you obtain the records of fate, right? How did you really get a hold of the records of fate? To tell you the truth, we're in a race against time. It could be a disaster if we don't hurry.
What are you talking about?
Someone left a warning that at sundown today they would use the curse to kill a lot of people. The one who left that message is the culprit behind the Najima murders from 20 years ago.
What? Something so terrible will happen?
I won't allow potentially hundreds of people to become victims of a curse. I'll do anything in my power to stop it. Mr. Arashi, please tell us everything you know.
I'm sorry, but I truly don't know anything. The truth is, I was given the record by a woman.
A woman?
Well, her voice sounded like a woman's, but I didn't actually see what she looked like. 1 month ago, while I was investigating at night, I suddenly heard a formless voice.
A woman's voice?
It said, I entrust you with this ancient manuscript and the right of resurrection held within its pages. Spread rumors of this ritual as far and wide as you can in the incoming months. And before I knew it, the old document fell down at my feet.
1 month. She's specific on that time period.
I was told if I did not, I could study the manuscript as much. I was told if I did, I could study the manuscript as much as I pleased. I wanted so badly to verify its authenticity, so I ended up accepting. I haven't heard anything from the voice since then.
It must have been you. It must have had you spread rumors in order to strengthen the power of the curses. To tie together the curses and the desire to seek out the right. This makes it likely that the owner of the voice is the mastermind behind all of this.
Hence I went public with the record of fates. Heihaku and the occult magazines immediately jumped at the news. It was a financial boon for me.
Huh? Heihaku? As in Heihaku soaps?
Right. I mean, no, that's not important. Just some personal business. After that, I waited, trying to predict what would occur in a month's time.
That's when
the curse began. Those are all the details I have.
Is there anything else you know?
Very well. I told you this much, I may as well give you more details.
Thank you. What might that be?
About Simon's Records of Fate. There is a sort of a continuation to it, another document called the Records of Fate, Yin Scroll.
A continuation?
Actually, a section written in Simon's own hand was appended to the manuscript, according to which, after the Honjo incident, Simon lamented such a calamity taking place. He apparently wrote an addendum for the event, that the tragedy becomes its own curse. It seems he had the idea that the victims of the Honjo incident would turn into a curse echoes and be used to gather soul dregs. It supposedly details how to handle any trouble that
wonder if I'm losing my voice.
That occurs as a result of the rite of resurrection.
Really? Hold on a second. Don't you find that strange?
What's the matter, Miss Suzuki? You think my information's inaccurate?
If Simon died in the Honjo incident, then he couldn't have written the addendum.
You really don't get it, do you?
Huh? Am I wrong?
Have you forgotten the ability Simon possessed?
Of course not. He used the rite of Oh! You're telling me Simon used it on himself.
The rite of resurrection can be carried out in advance, so that it activates when the soul dregs are gathered together. Then, is it not possible that Simon himself was resurrected by the rite after it all took place?
But he'd still have to collect the soul dregs needed to use the rite.
Yes, and that's why they died, the 8 others besides Simon.
What? They died in Honjo incident for their soul dregs? That sounded like it's the same as what's happening now.
That's why I need the resentful memories to learn the truth.
I get it now.
Information was left. Supposedly Simon's blood descendants guarded it as they passed it down across generations.
So there's someone out there related to him by blood even now?
Yes, in fact, I tried to trace the line as far as I could. forgotten, only being passed down out of tradition. And since they aren't even aware of what they have, tracking it down is quite tricky indeed. I wish I could ask whoever that voice belonged to what about the Yin Scroll.
I'm sure you did. So basically,
For tell me immediately. You owe me that much for telling you all this, do you not? That's the real extent of everything I know. If you bring me some useful information, I'll take it into consideration for your school grades as well.
sweet. Easy, eh? If we don't get killed, that is. So that's actually where we're going to leave it today. I need to make sure this recording went well. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Have a fantastic day. Don't forget to check all the links in the description. Bye, guys.